जी आँख बसे मन भावे।
आँख बिहारी जी आँख बसे मन भावे।
पीली कमरिया मोर मुकुट गण श्याम गगन के रंग सजावे। सांझ ने बीते शाम सावरा दिन भर नींद की देन सरावे। तन मन भारी जी आँख बसे मन भावे। मैं तो बागी
आँख बसे मन भावे।
कृष्ण मुरारी
जी आँख बसे मन भावे।
तन मन प्राण आवाले तेरे तुझ में रहूं रमाए पलचिन। माधव मदन गोवर्धन धारी दर्श में तेरे दीगे नित दिन। कृष्ण मुरारी जी आँख बसे मन भावे। सुध बुधहारी जी आँख
बसे मन भावे।
कृष्ण मुरारी
आँख बसे
मन भावे। आँख बसे मन भावे. Our discussion this morning will be on the subject of appreciation. In life, as human beings, there's so much that we have to appreciate, in essence, to be thankful for. But I want this appreciation to be understood not only that you must give thanks as a form of appreciation, but appreciation must also be acceptance. To accept certain conditions is a form of appreciation. To accept that who I am, is a form of appreciation. To accept that I am not what I think I am is a form of appreciation. To accept that I have is a form of appreciation. And to accept I don't have is a form of appreciation. Many of us believe that appreciation is only when we receive, then we shall appreciate. But we must also appreciate that we have the ability to give. Many of us believe that appreciation is only that we have this strength that must be recognized. But we must also recognize that appreciation is recognizing I have some weaknesses that I need to recognize. So the term appreciation today has all of these connotations. And in life itself, the more we learn to appreciate, the more we grow. Even if we are appreciating our weaknesses, as a matter of fact, therein lies our greatest potential for growth when we can appreciate, I am weak in this area, I'm weak in this area, I'm weak in this area. Because therein lies the potential to be better. Now, if in a class of students, of 10 students, 5 are excellent, they're all grades of 90 and so on. And the other 5 are struggling to get 60 and 70 and 80, or 60 to 70. The teacher would now decide where he should concentrate or she should concentrate their greatest effort. Where do you think they should concentrate their greatest effort? Anybody? On the ones that are weak? So that means we're going to ignore the ones who know. But do you know that the ones who know might feel they're being ignored? Because look, we know so much and you're not paying any attention to us. You're only paying attention to the ones who don't know. So the teacher now has to be very careful in showing his or her appreciation, that there'll be misconceptions of the appreciation. But you and I who are showing appreciation must not get caught up in the misconceptions of our appreciation. Because the students who are doing well says, I deserve attention because I want to get 100, or I'm the best student, I should get more attention. But a student who really needs help is saying, look, I need attention so I can get better than what I do. The teacher has to make the call. And in the eyes of the 5 students who are good, the teacher is a bad guy. In the eyes of the 5 students who need help, the teacher is a good guy. What should the teacher do? So the teacher said, look, that's it, I'm not going to appreciate anybody anymore. The teacher has to make the choice that he or she will have to put up with the dislike of those who think they're not being appreciated, and know that this effort is necessary, not because he wants appreciation, because these people need to be appreciated. Now, we're using this word plentifully. By the time I'm finished here, you'll be tired of the word appreciation. But I hope you're getting the point. In this bhajan that I just chanted, Tan Man Pran, Tan Man Pran Havale Tere, Tuj mein rahun Ramaye Palchina. The Kavita, the poet is saying that the devotee who chants to the Lord is saying, Lord, what am I offering to you? Tan, Man, Pran. When we are appreciating even our own personal weaknesses as strength, you must remember, Tan, Man, Pran is in play. Our body, our thoughts, and our life is in play. When we are appreciating someone else, Tan, Man, Pran is in play. Never at any time will we appreciate where these 3 factors are not part of the equation. That the minds of those we are appreciating will be affected, their body will be affected, and their life will be impacted. Again, back to the 5, 10 students. If the teacher does not pay attention to the 5 who are not doing so well, the chances are they will fail. But if the teacher takes away some attention from those who are doing great, the chances are they will still be successful. So in life, we have to make this choice that where our appreciation will have the greatest value, not to ourselves, by the way, because the teacher stands the risk of being disliked totally by the 5 who are doing good. And maybe all of the 5 who's not doing so good may not appreciate him, because some of them may be ungrateful and says, you didn't do anything for me. The teacher has to take that risk. But the end result, the teacher's concern is for the benefit of the students. In life, we are all teachers. And to some degree, we are all students. That in our day-to-day lives, when we cannot avoid appreciation, by the way, we cannot live without appreciating. We cannot rise in the morning without appreciating. Thank you, God, that I'm able to rise. The question is, how many of us rise each morning and have that thought in our minds that, oh, I should thank God that I'm awake? Or I'm thinking, what am I having for breakfast? But do I rise in the morning and the minute I come conscious says, I should thank God that I'm awake? Or I should say, oh, you remember what I was doing last night? I should get going. What is the first thought that comes to mind? Don't answer that question now, please. Ponder it tomorrow morning when you're waking up. And that's good, you'll remember me early in the morning. But ponder that thought when you wake up, and the first, conscious the fact that you're awake, what's the first thought in your mind? You know, that is why we are told that we must have our beds positioned in such a way that when we open our eyes, we see the window where the sun is shining. And by the way, we should make sure the sun doesn't get there before we open our eyes. Some of us, the sun is calling upon us for hours, and then we decide, oh, you're here. But the thought in our minds when we open our eyes is so important, because it's the beginning of the day. Whether it's 4 in the morning, 5, 6, or 7, it is the beginning of that first thought. If that first thought is thank you, God, we're on the right foot. If it's anything else, we might be in a state of not using the right foot forward. So when we are rising each day, like the poet says, नींद उन्नीदे जग के कारज करते सोचूं शाम की सोचूं. Waking up early in the morning and doing what I have to do, but in my mind, from the time I arise, I am hearing the beautiful sound of the Lord's music. And what is the sound of the Lord's music? The first sound, when I open my eyes, the Lord's music, if I'm conscious of myself, I'm hearing my breathing. That's the Lord's music, by the way. It's the most beautiful music. When you stop hearing that music, you know what happens? There is no more music. So that is the sound of the music you want to hear. I'm breathing. Not that someone will say, oh, you must be breathing. What's wrong with you? No, don't take it for granted, people. No. That is the music of life itself. Yes. And then, naturally, the music plays on because we cannot stop breathing all day. The music plays on with every breath. And we are breathing, and then the music of the Lord is always in our head. But it is only the music of the Lord when we are conscious that this breath of life is coming through the grace of God. Thinking in my mind, नींद उन्नीद जग के कारज करते सोचूं शाम की सोचूं. In my mind, सोचते हैं, I'm thinking, God, you're there, right? I know you're there. I'm conscious you're there. But if I am not thinking that you are there, and I ignore the fact that you are there, then you're not present in my life. I said this morning when we started Lingam Puja that remember, we don't have to invite God into our lives. He's a permanent resident. He has his PR card from the time we were born. But he only gets citizenship when we recognize his presence. He gets citizenship when we recognize his presence. You know, you could live in Canada for a long time, but until you get citizenship, you don't have all the rights entitled to someone living in this country. We will never get all the rights or enjoy all the benefits of God being present in our lives until we recognize his presence. And then again, that is, the word is appreciation. to appreciate God in our lives. Now let's move away from God for a moment and talk about the things that are more relevant to us. Appreciating the people in our lives. Now therein lies the greatest challenge. Because in appreciating people in our lives, we tend to be selective. Oh, I don't want to. Yes, yes, I do. And we tend to appreciate based upon what we get out of the relationship, not what we give to the relationship. We appreciate based upon what we get. Okay, so they were nice to me yesterday, I should be nice to them today. They were nasty to me yesterday, I don't want to see them today. So my appreciation is based upon what I am receiving from the world. Now what do you think? Should it be from what I am receiving or should it be from what I'm giving? Now, let's talk about this for a minute. Should my focus be on appreciating what I'm receiving or what I'm giving? Anybody? Huh? Receiving? Okay. Both? Sanjo? Both? Let's talk to some of the young people here. You know who you are, by the way. You don't want me to identify you. Right? Dylan? You're a young man. Which one do you think we should appreciate? Should be about equal? All right? Okay? Right? The gentleman behind you, what are your views on this subject? That's the gentleman behind Dylan, yes. He expressed your views. The giving aspect, okay? Over here, some of the folks over here, what are your thoughts on this subject? What should we spend our time appreciating? What, those who we receive from or those who we give to? Andrew says give to. Okay? Anybody else over there? Yes. Both? Okay. Anyone else want to jump in and give a yes? The one that you're receiving, okay? Yes, Dylan? So you're saying we must. Can somebody give him a microphone? Let him repeat this to me, please. And you need to stand up, Dylan. I think you're doing a great job. Stand up. Give Dylan a big hand, please.
When you give, you should think that, am I giving this for the betterment of the other person? And when someone's doing something for you or doing something in general, you should always think, is it for the betterment of me? And if it is, appreciate that person for what they're doing for you. And I think that...
What do you think of what he said? Thank you, Dylan. And who says that our young people are not wise? Yes, Andrew. You better come over and get a microphone, Andrew. Come on.
I think we should appreciate on what we give, because in that way we can also appreciate by what we receive because we have to give.
That's a different perspective. Let's give him a big hand, please. Now, somebody said that young people are useless. I want to think they're used less. So we're trying to use them a lot this morning. Because I think the more you use them, the more you'll find they're very useful. So those of you who have a tendency to say, young people are useless, just remember you mean they're used less. They need to be used more so that they can become useful. So let's give them a big hand, please. Now let's come back to the subject of appreciation. Andrew had a very, very unique point, and let me explore that a little bit. He said we must focus more on the giving because there is another part of that, is that what will be received after that giving. Now, does that mean he has expectations when he gives? What did you mean, Andrew? I'm putting you on the spot. Stand up again. No, give him a big hand. That's fine. So the return on that investment of giving is natural. You will feel good by giving, not that because you wanted to feel good. The natural result is you will feel good by giving. But if you're given because you wanted to feel good, the chances are you're not going to feel good. Because maybe the person you give to is going to say, I didn't want this anyway. But if you're giving without expectation, that in itself is a benefit. It leads to a state of fulfillment. I had the opportunity to give. I had the opportunity to give, and I gave it without expectation. प्रेम से बोलो पावन पुत्र हनुमान की, पावन पुत्र हनुमान की, the number one giver. Now, what did Hanumanji give in throughout his chariot? All of us who chant Hanuman Chalisa, what do you remember Hanumanji giving to anybody? Service. Did he make deliveries or something like that? What did he do? What service did he give? Anybody over there? What service did Hanumanji give? Bolo, bolo. All of my elders are speaking. Now, I know they know the right answer. I'm looking for these young people to tell me the answer. What did Hanuman give? Can't pick on Dylan now. Vanisha, what did Hanuman give?
I think he gave service to everything, but in the name of
Is
God.
that microphone on?
He gave service about everything, but in the name of God.
So he gave everything in the name of? Give her a big hand, please. So in essence, Hanuman didn't give anything. He says, I can't give anything. I'm merely a tool. In the name of God, I am doing something. Without His name, I cannot do anything. So remember, even the giver who is saying that we must appreciate the fact of giving must be conscious that I have no ability to do. I am merely an instrument of the doer. That God is the doer. I am the instrument of the doer. The doctor who is performing an operation, who's out to do open heart surgery and to repair the 3 valves if someone is blocked, he has all of these instruments he's using. Can any one of these instruments declare that they are healing the patient? They are merely a tool being used by the surgeon. We are all tools by the master surgeon. And we, if we are used well, can contribute to the healing and the betterment of others. Prem se Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki. So then my question is, when was the last time you got used? Don't put your hands up now, please. Because in order for that instrument to have contributed to anything, it had to be used. And you know, I don't know of any surgeon who after he puts down the suture or the knife says, thank you knife, thank you suture. They just throw it away and said, wash him up, I got the next patient, please. But the surgeon in reality could not have done anything without that tool at that time. That tool knows that. You and I must know that, but we must not look for the glorification afterwards. You see, when we get caught up, if we are used and we look for the glorification, then we have pain. We have grief and sadness. They use me and they never thank me. How a popular lie. The idea is, where is it that Hanuman ever said, nobody ever thanked me for what I did? Never did you hear that. He was just saying, when am I going to get an opportunity to be used again? So today our subject was an appreciation. We must appreciate the world more so when we are used, when we become useful. In our usefulness, we become valuable to ourselves and others. If we are not useful, then we become useless. If we are not useful, then we become useless. So someone said, Panditji, I do so much things at home. I got this. What else do you want me to do? Oh, only you know. But if anyone declares that they're doing so much, that person needs help. Big time. Because if we are really in the process of usefulness for the betterment of others, without a selfish attitude, we never ever feel we are doing too much. We will feel like Hanumanji, when we don't get an opportunity to do, we'll feel, oh my God, how do I get engaged? Why am I left out? I want to help, I want to contribute. And they will do everything possible to be part of the doing group, not the group that's waiting for recognition. So remember, appreciation. There are those who wait for recognition and those who wait for opportunities. Both requires the ability to appreciate. The world is full of those who are waiting for recognition. And more so, those who know that this is what I want, without also showing an appreciation for those they're going to demand from what they want, what is it that they have in mind? I will just digress briefly to marriage relationships. Fortunately or unfortunately, I do have the opportunity to sit with people who have challenges in relationships, marriage, parental and otherwise. And I must tell you without a doubt that 99% of the time, the greatest problem is there's a lack of appreciation on both sides. And there's a great sense of, I want this, mai chahata hu. I want this, without any understanding of the ability of the person to give what we want. Or what do they want? And in most of those relationships, as long as that attitude continues without appreciation, then the end result is failure, without a doubt. But those same relationships can be mended. They have the potential for mending only if both parties will understand the value of appreciating not themselves, but the other person. And what they must appreciate? Not their strengths, but their weaknesses. Because it's the weaknesses that's causing the breakdown in the relationship. Just like the teacher had to appreciate the weakness in those who are doing 60 and the strength of those who are doing 90. The teacher chose, or we recommended the teacher chose to focus upon the weaknesses, because therein lies the greatest benefit. There is potential for growth at all times. Prem Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Krishna Murari ji आँख बसे मन भावे
कृष्ण मुरारी जी आँख बसे मन भावे
तन मन प्राण हवाले तेरे तुझ में रहूं रमाए पलकिन माधव मदन गोवर्धन धारी दर्श में तेरे दीजे नित्य दिन कृष्ण मुरारी जी आँख बसे मन भावे आँख बिहारी The final verse of this bhajan, that when you and I have to ask ourselves the question, God has given so much to me. God has done so much for me. What can I offer back to the Lord? Not because He wants something. Not because He's demanding something. No, no, no. But because I have a desire to give back to the Lord. I've met many people who have come to me and said, Panditji, you know, the country has been good to me, society has been good to me, culture has been good to me. I want to give back something to society. But I have this business, that I'm trying to promote. I said, oh, okay. All right, let me see if I understand this. You want to promote your business, so you want to capitalize on what you see here, and you're telling me it's because you want to give back to your society. Don't ever go there, please. If we want to give, then we have to give. Here the recommendation, tan, body, man, mind, pran, life. Now, I can't give my life to anybody. It belongs to me. It does. Really? If it belongs to you, then you hold on to it. The body belongs to you, hold on to it. Tell it can't age. Nothing belongs to you and I. So when we are offering up ourselves in service, it must be tan, man, pran. And I have no doubt about his philosophy. On the other hand, there are people who come and said, I want to get involved. And you know what? I don't think I can do anything. But I really have this desire to do something, and anything you give, I'll be happy to do. But just give me an opportunity to do. And then there are those who came and didn't ask for anything to do. They just did something. They came and they said, look, they saw that to be do, they did it. And they continue to do without asking to do. And everyone is appreciating what they're doing, because who doesn't like somebody who likes to do work that nobody else likes to do? And then the appreciation is so wonderful. So, how do we get engaged? So, tan, man, pran. You see, the person who comes and gets engaged and wants to do without asking anybody what is there to do, when they see something to do, they do it with the intention of doing good. They are applying tan, man, or pran. But the person who's coming and says, I don't know, tell me what you want me to do. I don't know if I can do it yet. I don't think I'll have time. Their man is not there, and their pran is not there. Their tan is there, their body is there. Saying, hey, look, I'm here. Remember, I came, Oh, I was there. I have a pepper plant at home. I want to tell you all this. Last year, I like to plant garden, by the way. I saved 2 large pepper plants that were blossoming and were bearing fruits all the time, and I brought 2 of them in the house. With a little bit of discontent from their residents, of course. Not to mention any names. But then anyway, the plants continue to stay green, and then Sumi will water them every day. I didn't. Then we were away for 2 weeks and they suffered. Right? But then we came back and we nurtured them again to life. And every so often I see these plants having so many flowers. They are full of flowers. I haven't received the pepper yet. All the flowers are coming and they're falling off. So I said, what's this? A nice green tree, getting all the water, putting flowers every day, and no fruits. Lots of people are like that in the world. You give them all the nurturing, they look green and bright, they have flowers, and they smile, but no fruits. No fruits at all. If you know anybody like that, try to get them in the pollination business so they can be fruitful. Okay? They can be fruitful. Notice, you see, from my pepper plant, I learned something. Prem Susitapati Ramachandra Bhagavan ki. Let me take this opportunity to thank all of you for being here. Kaun pehle baar aaye hai? Who's here for the first time today in Ram Mandir? Newcomers, anybody? Put your hands up over there, 2, 3. Give them all a wonderful round of applause, please. I know the gentleman who put his hands up from Iceland. Can you please stand up, please? I've never met anybody from Iceland, so give him a big hand, folks. He said, boy, it's hot in Toronto. Thank you for coming. And the wonderful lady who's over there was newcomer, please stand up. Welcome to our temple. Give her a big hand, please. Thank you. every week we get new. By the way, who's here for the first time for the last 3 months? Put your hands up, please. Don't be shy.